Should I ask for an autograph? That will be quite unprofessional. But on the other hand... Hey, Matt. The violinist really did steal the purse. Well observed.
I knew it! I bet he's got more stuff planned. I'll stay here and keep an eye on him secretly. Okay?
Sounds like a plan.
Inspector, did you find the Baroness's purse?
I did indeed.
You did? Out of my way, James. Oh, wunderbar. Tremendous work, Inspector.
Constable, Baroness. Constable Anton Jakob Zellner at your service. May I ask you where this beautiful train is taking you?
To the madhouse, I'm afraid. One is close to the brink of insanity with this constant shaking and rattling.
Have you ever tried flying, Baroness?
Do you know how little luggage one is permitted upon an aeroplane? It defies all reason and good taste.
Have you heard about the burglary at the British Museum?
Heard about it? I'm directly affected by it.
How so?
I'm in charge of the Friends of the British Museum. And for your information, I'm financing the exhibition.
Exhibition? What exhibition?
The exhibition in Cairo. Where did you think we were going? The eyes of the Sphinx were supposed to be exhibited together for the first time in decades. Now that one of them is gone, the exhibition will be rather less sensational than we'd hoped.
On the other hand, there's a chance that all the uproar will generate more attention, and that the exhibition will still be a great success.
Oh, perhaps. But we wanted to show them both together. That was the whole point.
Can you tell me anything about your fellow passengers, Baroness?
No, not really. I could hardly care who's penned up in here with me. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Lucien is here, the professor. Poor fellow. The eye of the Sphinx that was stolen belonged to his collection.
Professor Lucien is an Egyptologist.
But of course. As director of the Egyptian department of the British Museum, he has to be. The whole burglary thing really upset him. Director Thomas told me he was a nervous wreck.
I'll take my leave of you now, Baroness, and I do hope your journey becomes more bearable.
Ha! Yes, indeed, Inspector.
Constable. James? Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Please excuse my unusual request, but Matt said you have some hairpins. Could I borrow one?
One of my hairpins?
It's a long story. It would be a big help.
Well, if you really need one.
Go ahead, Mary. The constable won't do it any harm. Will you, Mr. Zellner?
Of course not, madam.
Is this one okay?
It'll do nicely, madam. How very kind of you. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
And suddenly, it's me who's the thief on the train. Oops, that was easier than expected. Batteries, a toothbrush, shaving brush. but not the key to the compartment door. Just this one. Too small for the door, but it might still be useful. There we go. This should help. Excuse me, Lady Westmacott.
Constable Zellner, how can I help you?
I was wondering if you might...
Sign your book, Constable Zellner?
If it isn't too much of an inconvenience.
Of course it's an inconvenience, but only a small one. You are welcome.
Thank you so very much. Another time. Farewell, Lady Westmacott.
Constable?
Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Thank you for your hairpin, Mrs. Miller. It really got me out of a jam.
Oh, really? That's good to hear. And thank you for bringing it back to me. Not everybody would have.
I'm a Swiss policeman, madam. I couldn't do otherwise even if I tried. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
Hey, Matt. The violinist really did steal the purse. Well observed.
I knew it! I bet he's got more stuff planned. I'll stay here and keep an eye on him secretly, okay?
Sounds like a plan. This is the first car. The coal tender should be directly beyond this door, and in front of it, the engine. The butler, this James, seems to have escaped the Baroness. Good day to you, sir.
Can I be of any assistance, sir?
I wanted to ask you a few questions. Where did you and the Baroness board the train?
In Paris, sir. The Baroness was there on behalf of a charity that she supported for many years.
So you weren't in London when they broke into the British Museum?
We may have been, actually. We left for Dover bright and early the morning after the burglary. But it was in Paris when we first heard of it. The morning paper in London didn't mention the unfortunate event, sir.
And just 2 days later, you're on a train bound for Switzerland. The Baroness certainly gets around.
Indeed, sir. We are practically always on the go.
What can you tell me about the Baroness?
Nothing, sir. A butler does not tattle.
If you'll pardon a rather odd question, are you really named James? That would be a lucky coincidence in your line of work.
My name, sir, is Clive Alfred Inch.
Your second name is Alfred, yet the Baroness calls you James.
Madam considers James to be the only forename suited to a butler, sir.
Isn't butler an odd choice of career? Butler? Many would say it's a strange job.
It is true that I am one of a dying breed, sir. The war claimed a generation of butlers.
Have you been to war as well?
Indeed, sir. I was a groom for a cavalry officer.
When you British talk about war, one is never sure which war you mean. It seems the situation hasn't changed much since the 30 Years' War, has it?
Shrapnel from a bomb dropped by a Fokker would not have wounded me in the 30 Years' War, sir.
No, of course not. Goodbye, James. Or Alfred. The butler, this James, seems to have escaped the Baroness. I didn't find the conductor, but I should be able to open the door for you with these pliers.
Then go right ahead.
I bet I could really get a grip on the bolt with these.
Well, come on then, hurry up.
Hello?
I barely left the window ajar.
Nothing to see.
Ah.
Are you okay?
Yes, fine.
Do you have any idea why the door was locked?
I don't know. Maybe the constant vibrations caused the lock to lock itself.
You can't possibly believe that.
Well, then what's your theory?
The conductor could have locked it from the outside. On the other hand, it could have been someone here in the compartment who locked the door from the inside.
Who? And where have they gone?
They could have climbed out there.
Who would be that insane?
You tell me, Professor. So, what are you hiding in your bag? What do you have that would be worth stealing?
No, nothing.
No valuables?
Certainly not. Not on my salary.
It was enough for a first-class compartment on a luxury train.
That's my business.
You're playing a dangerous game, Professor Lucien. I believe you and the inspector do know each other.
What makes you think that?
It seems like the two of you are running a haulage company specializing in safes.
I won't comment on that. It's a matter of international importance.
Tell me, Professor, would you happen to have a key in your briefcase? And if so, would it still happen to be there?
Then all would be as it should.
That's what we hope, at least. All the same, it would have been a simple matter for a thief to make an impression of it. Right, Professor?
Oh.
And the break-in? It wasn't an issue for you, even though you're the head of the department where it occurred?
All right. The burglary was most upsetting. And shocking. And I didn't know what to do, okay?
And you couldn't just tell me that.
The fewer people who know about it, the better. I can't trust anyone.
You're not only going to Venice, are you? Could it be that your journey will continue? All the way to Egypt, perhaps? I'm on your side, but the more you lie to me, the more difficult you make my job. I'd like to look around a bit.
Of course.
Assuming there really was someone in the compartment, and he climbed out the window, where's he gone?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to make what I suspect are fingerprints visible.
And? Found anything?
Unfortunately, no. There are only a couple of fingerprints on the window. It was probably cleaned before departure, but the prints I can see look like glove marks.
Well, wouldn't you expect that? What professional burglar wouldn't wear gloves?
It was worth a try. What's this?
What do you have there?
It's a button. From a suit or a uniform, I guess.
The burglar might have lost it.
Maybe. Or maybe not. If I notice anyone with a missing button on his jacket, I'll ask him about it. But I wouldn't get my hopes up. If there was a burglar, he climbed out the window and jumped off the train. Wow. A very nice fountain pen. Pricey.
If you'd managed to decode hieroglyphics that boggled the best minds of the last 3,000 years, you'd have received a gift like that as well.
I really wonder what the professor is hiding from me. But I can't just rifle through the luggage of innocent citizens. This is the 60s. No, nothing interesting. The Bible, Grimm's fairy tales, Moby Dick, and gin, whiskey, and rum. All classics. Professor Lucien?
Yes?
Professor. The good professor is hiding something. It would be good if I could find out more about him.